Right, my people. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you'll be watching this. Welcome back to the Physique podcast, or the Physique podcast, episode 5. We are joined with a guest of mine, one of the very few people that has known me before the success of the coaching business.
Yeah.
Luke Anthony.
Before you was even a coach.
Yeah. Before I was even a coach, when I was slumming it in Worcester in that little tiny flat, which was
the same
actually,
as this room.
yeah, same size as this whole office, which is actually a bit mad. It's actually quite crazy, that, isn't it? Probably literally the same size.
You could probably lie down on the sofa, you'd feel like you were back then.
Yeah. But it didn't even have room for a sofa.
No, it didn't. No,
I reckon this room's bigger because we couldn't have a sofa in the other room.
Probably because on the end of the bed and you were still at my feet, like in the kitchen.
Yeah. So anyway, Luke and I go way back. Is the point we're making? How you been, bro?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Would you like to tell people about yourself a little bit? What you do, where you been, where you come from, how we met?
Yeah, I'm from Manchester, just outside of Manchester.
All 161. That's my gang.
Exactly. I got the T-shirt for it and everything.
My name on the map. King of the North. Bugsy, to be fair, I do like Bugsy. He's one of my favourite artists.
He's good, man.
I did a track. I did the run.
Yeah.
I did that.
Is that
for
what
my
you're
posing
posing
songs.
with?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I want to bring one of his songs into my pose, but I just can't.
Yeah, you gotta make it happen, bro.
No, you've done it now.
No, but you can pick another one. He's got a lot of soft touches where
Has he?
Yeah, he's got, he's not all like grime. He's got a few little melodies in there. Trust, bro, mate. I'm that much of a Bugsy fan. I know that for a fact.
What song? Name.
I can't name them for you. I'm not that much of a diehard. But I'm telling you now, Run is one of the melodies.
But it's not his voice though, is it? You're on about the people that he features on the song. That
yeah, but the bit that I used wasn't him. That was Rag and Bone Man. Yeah. So you're from Manny.
Yeah.
We're going through that.
I'm an online coach. I have been for like 7 years, but I did it under a company beforehand.
Was that Lodo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him a bit about Lodo.
I worked for Lodo for like 4.5 years, and it was a low carb, low calorie bread alternative. That's all I want to talk about for now, anyway. Yeah, I'm sure you've got questions.
We'll go through other things, but yeah, to be fair, the reason why I wanted to get Luke on was because we go very far back, and we wanted to discuss a few topics in terms of like how I would say things have moved on probably since we first had that picture in Body Power 2019. Funny story about that, actually.
Oh yeah, how we met.
So
I was like
how we met, right? So apparently, apparently Luke was a fanboy.
I was. I thought I had you on Instagram. So I've come from never doing anything bodybuilding or fitness related, and then I got into the industry, like losing my weight, and then someone said that I couldn't do that. So then I was like, yeah, I can. So I went and fucking did it. But at the time, like, one of the main people that I was following was you. Like, you had a big following. You've always had a pretty big following. Yeah. It's naturally grown. And I think you're on like just like 15,000 at the time, but that back then was big, like 6 years ago. There was a lot of followers. And we had like a mutual friend that was on your stand. I was there for Lodo. And I was like, please introduce me to him. And then, ever since then.
And we had a picture, which we need to get a new one, by the way. We'll take one out. We'll either take one today here, or we'll take one in the gym. Because that doesn't flatter either of us. Like, usually, when we take a photo about 3-4 years ago, it never flatters just me, but like both of us, we're...
Bad.
Yeah. Glow up is real. The glow up is proper real, man. Honestly, man, I look back at those photos taken, and I must have worn the same Marikilo jumper in all 3 days. What an absolute... But that is a representation of who I was at that time. Yeah. I had no standards for myself. I rocked up to Body Power.
You have some stories from that weekend as well, from a few famous.
Did you come?
No, I didn't, but you told me.
So we went out. Oh shit! Yeah. So let me go into this, right? Oh, honestly,
everyone knows.
This is one
some people watching this now. Go, please don't talk about this now. I can tell you right now.
Right. So this situation with we went out with Brandon Harding and Tom Stockton.
Yeah.
Me and Tom. Do you know what? Tom Stockton is going to be the next guest on here. Hopefully.
Is it?
Yeah. So this interlinks so fucking well. So Tom Stockton was the first time I met Tom Stockton. Trying to get him on board with Elite, by the way. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
good coach,
yeah.
Great coach.
Yeah.
Obviously Naomi was there. Mr. Ravenface. Dion,
Yeah.
who I don't speak to anymore. Then you had Sam Stenton as well, one of Brandon's lads, and then you obviously had Brittany. Was it Brittany?
It was Brittany at the time.
Yeah, it was at Brittany at the time. He's had so many birds, but it was Brittany at the time. So we were obviously we're going out. We're at the Birmingham apartment, and that was just a mad night. That was basically the first thing that went wrong was Mo Samuel was there.
Mo was there. Yeah.
Right? Get this, he's a fucking dum right? So he buys canisters, balloon canisters. Yeah, forgets the actual balloons themselves. So he's got a pack of laughing gas, like 2 packs, 48 pellets, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, we haven't got any balloons. So I'm there fucking jumping and running around like Birmingham city centre trying to find a shop that's open for some balloons, right? And then when I get back, he found them. I was like, bro, you just sent me on a run around and I've managed to get you some balloons and you've already got some. He was like, yeah, don't worry, we sorted it. So I was like, that was one thing. And then that whole night was just messy, bro. You know Lewis Widgery?
Yeah.
Fucking met him on that night out. He was with do you know what, mate? A lot of things happened that night, bro. But anyway, we had a messy night. I don't speak to Brandon. I didn't, to be fair, mate. I shouldn't have really been there anyway. I only went there because it was a moment of time, a moment of convenience. But like me and Brandon go way back. I used to spend a lot of time with Brandon. We used to do a lot of filming content together. I remember this one time he was crying on my couch because he was fucking pissed off about how many times it took to record an intro of a video. Bro, it was a couch like this, yeah. We were in our little house in Worcester, and I just see him like crying because I'm not even over exaggerating. Like he did this intro like 15 times, and he's there in the living room, absolutely vexed at himself, like not crying because he's sad.
Every 15 times.
Oh mate, but he's a perfect. The reason why he's in the position he's in, he's a perfectionist.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he was literally doing this intro and couldn't get it right, or couldn't get it right to his standard. So he's there like tearing up with anger because he's pissed off at himself. And I was just like, bro, it's not that deep. But like, obviously, it's hard to say that at the time when he had 20. He had like 15,000 followers at the time, 15,000 subscribers, right? And obviously now his standards have got him to the point where he's at. So like, it makes sense. And like, if I had the same mentality that I do now back then, I would have understood. But I was at the time, I was just in university. I was bumming around. I was like, mate, it's not that deep. It's only YouTube. But like, I get it. I get it now. So like, anyway, but anyway, we could be here all day with Brandon Arnold. We're not here to do that. But anyway, that night. The weekend that we met, we obviously went out with all them lot. Mad night. I think Brandon actually ended up dipping somewhere. We went to Club 101 with Lewis, and all them lot, and then we went to they had that little VIP section.
Yeah, because
VQ.
That's where you ended up.
Oh shit! And that's when I sniffed ND off Sergey Constant's thumb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sergey Constant. Well, you weren't there.
I weren't there.
Oh,
these are stories that I want about.
So Sergey Constance, obviously, I don't know if anyone you know, but he basically had like this little gap in your thumb here, right? This little gap here. So he fucking tips out some MD and he goes, "Here you go." his English was fucking non-existent, right? I don't even know how he managed to get through a night in Birmingham. Like, he's there like doing this. He goes, "Here you go," and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "Just sniff." I was like, I had Andrea next to me. You know, Andrea. How'd you say his name? The big men's physique guy who's coached by Hanny Rambod.
I know
he's in Dubai. Yeah, he was next to me as well, and mate, I've just had some flashbacks. That whole night was messy, bro. I ended up having a fucking like full on heart to heart with Lara Rebecca.
Yeah, you said you didn't sleep because the next day you was like, bro.
Yeah, mate, that was a heavy night.
You hid in the back of the
I managed. By the way, can I just say this? I managed to blag my way into that VQ VIP section. I had no right to be there. Like this whole section of the nightclub was blocked out, and I managed to weasel my way in somehow. I fucking smooth talk the little security guard, absolutely wet wipe. Just, I think I took someone's band, and I had like a little bit of tape, and I just stuck it together because they ripped it off. I just showed him quickly, and he was like, "Yeah, go through." So I managed to be in there with all these lot. And yeah, man, that was, I've just remembered that. It was in the garden area at the back.
Yeah, I remember the photo.
The photo?
Use the photo.
Oh.
You probably haven't got that anymore.
No, I don't think I do. Mate, this is what I mean with my memory, mate. Like, it's not that much shit, mate. Like, my memory's gone. But yeah, like, that was one of the nights. Anyways, that was that weekend. Messy night. So yeah, like, shout out to Sergey Constance. Good guy, man.
And then we trained, didn't we? I think it was like...
Where did we go?
I came to you. It was like 6 weeks after Body Power.
Yeah, it came to us, didn't it? Yeah, so
Where
Body
was it,
Pile was where
Rev?
we met.
What was
You
it called,
gave me
actually?
bare free pizza.
Yeah, free pizza donuts.
And lots of
You
donuts.
got me clothes though.
Yeah, I sorted you out with a good stash.
Yeah.
Do you still have any of that?
The hoodie.
Yeah, the hoodie was good, man.
Yeah.
I've still got the trousers, the dry looks ones. Do you remember them, like the synthetic
Yeah,
ones?
I don't know. They fucked it as soon as they went in the wash.
Yeah. To be fair, they're not very good. But yeah, so that's how we met.
Then we trained.
Then we trained.
And then COVID.
And then I think everyone I don't think anyone stayed close with each other through COVID, apart from
We
just
spoke.
here and there. We spoke here and there.
Sorry, I don't understand.
That's my Siri. Fuck off.
No, I swear, right, it's Apple Watches around me, bro.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
swear.
Bro, I'm constantly
In it-
on meetings.
in
Bro,
it-
I'm on meetings. I'm on meetings all the fucking time, and I'm literally there, fucking going on my Apple Watch. Siri's picking up what I've just said. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
We were
Picking-
training with
picking
Ryan.
random
What
shit
did
up?
his watch say? As I was talking to him, and his watch just said, "Take it easy." Or something. Mid-rep,
weird.
and I'm like, "There, go. There's more there. Take it easy." Or something.
Yeah, fucking weird.
What? Keep
Keep it clean.
it clean.
Keep it clean.
I'm there
What's
going
happening?
3 more reps, and then the watch just goes, "Keep it clean."
What you
And I'm
fucking?
like,
You fucking maid?
I was like, "What the
You
fuck?"
clean
I was
the
like,
house
who the
out?
fuck just said that?
Fucking in the
And
in
yours
the
did
kitchen.
it the other day to me. Yeah, bro, it's just Apple
Yeah,
Watches
mad.
around me.
So what were we talking about then?
And then
We're talking about
COVID happened.
COVID. Yeah.
We stayed in touch, but you were getting busy then.
Yeah, I was.
That's when
I was starting to come up.
It took off,
Mm.
and it was more. You comment on something. We'd stayed in touch more like the supportive side of things.
Yeah.
Then
And that, you
we
know what? I
both
think
knew
that's
we
really
were
important.
there, innit? Like,
Yeah,
there's no
that's a
need
good-
to go beyond.
Because
that,
I remember having that call with you about the coaching.
Yeah,
'cause you
bro,
called-
It was
you-
a random. I do
You
that.
called
and
me,
you
bro. I was
hate
in the
it.
middle.
He
I was
hates it.
I was
do
in
that
the
to
middle of
everyone,
fucking
dude.
filling up my car, right? And I never usually pick up calls on a one, but because it was Luke, I was like, do you know what? All right, let's see what's going on. And he just rang me about coaching, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
This was one of the
Yeah.
first. I can imagine that's probably one of the first times that you were
I
looking,
thought-
exploring,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
And obviously, I tried my best to give him my knowledge,
Bro, we
but
were on the phone for like an hour.
Well, was it
yeah,
that long?
yeah, it was like a good 40 minutes.
bro, I bet the fucking guy at the petrol station, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Sitting in his
But
car
I've
at
done
the
that a
petrol
few
station.
times to you.
Bro, he was
Where it's
there
just
for an
random
hour.
phone
I
call
was
out.
there for an hour. Like, I was like, I didn't even know it was that long, mate. So
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah.
yeah, but like obviously, I tried at that time to give you as much advice as I could.
You did. No, you did. You gave me everything.
And it's obviously
Pretty
worked.
much hard, yeah.
You know? So basically, he's thanks me for the whole situation. Like I'm the reason. But no,
I
like,
went fully solo, yeah, I'd say
yeah.
you pushed it.
Because look, at the end of the day, like I think we'll touch upon it, but it's really important that you try your best to try and do what's best for you. Like,
Yeah.
You can work for companies and like you can do things that are going to help you bank balance to the point where you get the bills paid, etc. But like you got to have a bit more ambition. And I think that's
Got
what you lacked before the call with me. You were like, I don't know, I'm not too sure, and I was like, mate, what's the worst that can happen?
I think I said it's saturated, and
Everything's saturated.
your response to it was quite. I use it with other people now. It's only saturated if you're surrounding yourself with all them. So like, I was following all coaches because of what I was doing for Loda. They were who I worked with. They're who I've helped to get to where they are. So obviously that's all I'm going to see.
Well, that's the
Whereas
thing.
if I
Like,
switched it to follow the people I want to work with, well, they're not seeing any of that.
No.
So it's completely different.
and I think a lot of people when they're on Instagram, because they only follow around about 500 to 1,000 people, they get such a small slice of the overall picture that they're consistently consuming daily content around other coaches, and they think that that's all that's out there.
Yeah.
But you take a step back and you go, right, you are following probably 50 of a group of 1,500 coaches for starters. Then mix that on top of the fact that you don't even follow people who are day-to-day people who don't even use Instagram. And they don't want to use Instagram because they've got jobs, they've got lives. Those are the people that you need to be fucking targeting. Not worrying about who's talking about fucking vitamins and who's talking about training. Like those, when you're a coach, you've got to make sure that you focus on your demographic. And that's really important. And that's the important thing about that is making sure that you're focusing on your audience, like not digesting the people that you follow and trying to be that. Because otherwise, you are going to be the same, and that's when it becomes saturated.
So it's
if everyone's trying to be the same, you're fucked.
It's like people that are trying to lose weight, bro. If you're following bodybuilders and you're trying to lose
There's only
weight,
gonna be a certain
you're
way to
never
do it.
going to fit into it. It's never going to stick to you because your lifestyle isn't like
Yeah.
that. It's not relevant to you.
And that's the thing with particularly like business and fitness go fucking hand in hand. Like there's 1,000 ways to run a business. There's 1,000 ways to become get a better physique. Like just because someone does it one way and that works for them doesn't mean that you automatically will apply the same methodology and it will work for you.
Go back to school, bro. People are visual learners and people are like, what's
bro, I hated school. I fucking hated school. You know what it is with
and
school?
Now you run one.
You know what it is with school, yeah. I run the Coach University. If you don't know the Coach University, get to know, bro. Message me on Instagram. We'll actually just search it up on it on Instagram. But yeah, no, in terms of school, like you said, everyone's taught the same way. And I'm not surprised that there's such a disparity in results because, like, it's a memory test.
Yeah.
School is a glorified memory test.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that actually I've taken from school and gone, yeah, do you know what? That's a bit of useful information.
We might use algebra every now and again. But
When?
Macros and
When?
shit. But
that's not algebra, bro.
It is a little bit.
Algebra? Well, you telling me the square root of fucking pi is 20 grams of macros? No. Fuck, what are you talking about, boy? What are you on about? Like, mathematics, yeah, but algebra, like, there's algebra.
Very true, yeah.
There's algebra, and then there's maths. Like, there's a big jump between algebra and maths, bro. Like, maths, I agree. You know?
Yeah, right.
4 grams
All
per
right, I'll reword it. Maths.
4 calories per gram. Proteins, fats, protein, carbs, and then 9 calories for fats. Bosh. But yeah, no, in terms of that, like you said, it's all about finding the best way that you're going to move forward. You know, and
that you enjoy.
It takes experience.
Who excels at school? People who enjoy it. Right.
100%.
So if you
like,
enjoy
if
something, you excel in it.
Do you know what? I think a lot of people give themselves too much pressure to find something they enjoy.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Like, I went to university.
Make mistakes.
I went to university, made a ton of mistakes, nearly got kicked out of university, took a load of drugs, drank loads of alcohol, smashed loads of birds, and like now, got one bird, got one job, got one way of life, because I've experienced all those other lives.
Yeah.
I've gone round the circle, I've gone round the table, and I've gone, right, I'm gonna have a pick out of that, pick out of that, pick out of that, and now I take a step back and go, I like that, didn't like that, I like that, didn't like that, and now I live my life how I want to live it. But when I was at university, particularly when you met me, I was all over the gaff, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know the difference between white and black, mate. It was all blurred, bro. I was all blurring the lines.
I think you liked the green monster at that point as well.
Yeah, that's horrible now.
Yeah, no.
Apple, is it?
Yeah.
I couldn't think. I haven't touched the green monster.
I brought you the green monster. He was like, yeah, bugs. No.
See, that's what I mean. My taste has matured like a fine wine. You know, white monster's there. By the way, that Lewis Hamilton monster, absolutely fucking banging, boy, banging. Mango, pineapple, and orange. Yeah, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah.
That's getting straight in my basket.
Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely mental. So yeah, in terms of obviously, like you said, going back to the job situation, it's really important to make sure that you make ends meet. But when you leave and clock out to work, say you're doing 9 to 5, don't just clock out at 5 o'clock and go, right, that's my day done.
No, you've just done 9 hours for someone else. Yeah,
you did that a lot with Lodo.
Nah, so with Lodo, I was working like when I first started filming, I was doing bake room on my own. So that was like 16-hour days, 7 days a week, in a bake room with 16 ovens, and I was on
16 ovens.
Yeah, 16 ovens. Which
who the fuck needs 16 ovens, bro?
Making them Lodo pieces, but
is
it
it?
was like manufacturing. Bro, I made them
16
on my own.
ovens,
yeah,
bro. 16. I can barely work one.
16 ovens with 12 shelves that fit 6 pieces of Lodo on each shelf.
Wow, that's 100.
I'm the only person to.
That's 186 shelves.
Yeah, so I was
there
the
you
only
go. There's
person.
your algebra for you, bro.
There you go. Quick maths, isn't it?
186. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was the only person to
No,
get
182.
a full
My bad.
perfect bake, like where no pieces broke, nothing. And then when I moved out there, they had 16 people in the bake room doing the same job that I was doing for like a year and a half. And they didn't click that they were.
Do you know what that screams to me? Now I've got my business brain on. That screams to me. If a good person is a hard
if
worker,
they had
find
offered
them a
me
fucking job.
double the wage of what I was on to stay in the bake room, I'd have never left, bro. And they'd still have one person.
Right, there you go.
Doing
Any business owners or any entrepreneurs like that, there's a vital lesson for you. If you
find
offer,
a good worker,
if you
give
offer
them
someone
money,
enough money,
they'll
they will
fucking
stay.
do it.
They'll be loyal.
So then I switched over to the marketing side of Lodo, and I was still doing 7 days a week, but it was getting 16, 17 hours a day. But I'm working with 500 influencers who across the world, they've all got different time zones. So I could get a phone call at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm still going to answer that because it's my job.
Yeah.
Like, I put everything into.
Yeah.
I believed in the brand, so I put everything into the brand to push.
And how do you feel now? Like obviously taking that energy, those time, that
And
sacrifice into your own business.
10 times freaking better. Like, I do more now than I did then, but I don't feel like I do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So, like, I've
It's not hard. It's not hard work when you enjoy it.
Exactly. That's the thing that I say to most people. Like, if someone says to me, "Do you not like?" I've not been on holiday in like 4 years, 5 years, but I don't feel like I need a holiday.
Every day is a holiday, bro.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know what gets me?
When you've done 16-hour shifts for someone else, and then you go and then put 16 hours into helping other people and stuff that you enjoy, it doesn't. It's completely different.
Do you know what gets me about the holidays? Right, bank holidays. We just had one, right? Easter. Because I work for myself, I've got no idea when it's a bank holiday, when it's a free day.
We were the same,
bro. It's completely left my brain.
Gone, mate.
Like,
they were like Fridays bank holiday.
Good Friday, everyone's off work. Excuse me. What?
What do you mean?
What do you want
about? The
gym
was busy. I was like, what?
I was like, what? Bro, I went into the gym on Friday. I was like, very busy for today. Shouldn't be everyone at work? And everyone's like, no, it's Good Friday. I'm like, what the hell does that mean to me?
Yeah,
every day's a bank holiday, bruv. Like, if I want to, I will get up out of bed at 11 o'clock. If I want to, I'll get out of bed at 8 o'clock. Like, It doesn't. It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
I was confused when Tesco shut at 6.
Mate, that's the thing with supermarkets.
Yeah,
you go to a supermarket.
So
and
annoying, man.
You go, oh, it's a bank holiday. Fuck.
We turned up.
Oh. You get there, and you go, oh shit.
Ice cream, bro. Right. So just before I started prep, I wanted a tub of ice cream.
Have we gone to ice cream market?
Yeah, I wanted
We've
a tub
gone
of
from
ice cream.
Tesco's bank holidays to ice cream.
So we went. It was a Saturday night.
Only on the Physique podcast we get those kinds of tangents.
It was a Saturday night. It wasn't even late. Like 5 to 10, 5 to 10 or something.
Yeah.
And they were shut, and I was so pissed off. I was like,
5 to 10 is still pretty late.
Bro, but it's a 24-hour
supermarket. Yeah, but
supermarket.
you're still pushing it fine there.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, anything for an ice cream though. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of ice cream, man. I can never finish it. I can never finish a tub of Ben.
Bro, I could eat like 5 in a row.
I haven't had a tub of Ben and Jerry's for a long time. Like, you're probably like, I mean, Christian, your coach, you can fucking box him off, can't he?
Yeah.
He's been notorious for that. But yeah. So obviously that's how we met.
Yeah.
That's how we know each other.
Yeah.
Obviously we've come from that point to now, both online coach full time.
Full time.
I'm full time.
I do face-to-face PTs, but not as much as online. Online kind of just overtook everything.
Talk to me about the difference between PT and online coaching.
To me, there's not a difference. I get it. I see that PTs find... So you'll get some PTs that just offer that hour. You don't get any of the...
But you took it above and beyond.
I do. Anyone who signs up for a PT still gets online coaching regardless.
Same package in like
everything. Everything's in. Yeah. I only have 2 price points, and that is solely dependent on how much time you need from me, how many check-ins you want from me. Sort of
same with me.
But again, I'm not the type of person that would just wait. Oh, he's had 1 call this week. I'm going to wait 2 weeks to speak to him again because that's what he pays for.
Some PTs though, like they do session. You're in, you're out. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And to be fair, look, it's hard to argue because like what I would consider that package, I would consider not personal training. I would consider that personal training and online coaching.
Yeah.
Because personal training, like to me and a lot of other people, is you go into the gym, you go for that session, and the rest of it.
So
you
some
take care of
people will
yourself.
see it as that's an hour where they get to kill that client.
Yeah.
Off for that hour, but then how many people do you know that do that and then never come back to the gym because they got killed off and it took 3 days?
And that's the thing. Like, I think this is the problem that I had with personal training. You have to be more strategic with how you help people. With online coaching, you can just full send it.
You have to be a lot. Yeah. Understanding and a bit more compassion is needed in face to face.
100%.
And a bit more patience as well.
More patience because you're working naturally with a different clientele. Like with online coaching, obviously you don't have the luxury of taking through these clients with sessions.
No.
So like people who want personal training generally can't
and the
train
people
properly.
that know about online coaching, because you got to remember that online coaching is big in America. Pretty much everybody has a coach in America.
Yes.
Like for
England's
everything in life.
England's behind.
We're behind them.
Forward.
So the people that have online coaches know what coaching is. So when they come to you, they kind of know the service that they're getting. They know what to expect. They know how to train. PTs for people who don't know how to train.
You know what? One thing about the American thing, right? I've had 5 or 6 American clients. Each of them have not blinked at the price.
No.
They go, oh, that's well cheap. I'm like, how much are these fuckers charging over in America?
Because it's a big
it's
industry.
Crazy, man. None of them have, every single one of them, without a shadow of a doubt, have said, once we do the conversion rates, they go, oh, is it only $200 a month? So what do you mean? Like, some people in England go, oh, I can't afford that.
Yeah. They have coaches, bro. When I first started, I was doing £40 a month. coaching.
Fuck me. I was doing it for free, to be fair.
People were saying that they couldn't afford that.
Yeah, look, do you know what it is with the pricing situation? Like, I will say this from day one, right? It genuinely... Now, the only thing I will say, this is a caveat, right? Be careful with your pricing, but it genuinely doesn't matter what you charge when it comes to people who want to prioritise their health.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, some people will make that prioritisation because they're invested in you, they know what you're about, they know how attentive you are to your clients. Yeah. So the price point is almost irrelevant. Now, that's not the case for everyone, and I understand that, but when somebody decides to make their health a priority, we've had this conversation off camera that some people charge obscene amounts of money. And because they want to prioritise their health journey with that coach, they'll pay 500, 700, 800, 900 pounds.
Like mental.
Right? And that comes down to their validity as an individual, as a coach, and the prioritisation that individual has on how much they want to be coached by that specific person.
No matter how much you try and persuade someone to do something, they've got to have the want to do it.
100%.
So, like, people will say it's a price point, or my partner doesn't want me to do it. They can say that as much as they want. They just genuinely don't want to do it themselves. They don't want it enough. Like, because if you genuinely are sick of people calling you a fat cunt and you want to lose weight, you'll just go and do it. You'll do it no matter what.
That's what happened to me.
You'll do it. You'll do it. You won't be asked about the food you've sacrificed because you want something else. Like, it's a means to an end, isn't it?
That's why I killed myself in that 2020 prep, because I came out of that relationship. Did you meet that? Did you meet that ex of mine, the blondie? No. Anyway, so like I came out of that relationship, and like within like a couple of months, I just full sended my prep. Yeah. And my prioritization was right: relationship breakup, redemption arc, feelings. Fucking bury them in the gym, bury them in a prep. And that was that much of a strong desire and prioritization from me that I ended up doing an hour Stairmaster a day, 800 calories.
Which you wouldn't want to do now, would you?
Which I wouldn't do now. I wouldn't make the same sacrifice, because my prioritization isn't just about getting over a relationship, isn't just about proving myself to, because I've already done that. I've already proved myself to a certain point. Now it's about proving myself in other areas. Do you know what I mean? So like it all comes about timing. Like when you hire a coach, it comes down to how much you want to prioritize there and then. Not in 12 weeks, not in 16 weeks, there and then. And I think that really often dictates how much people are going to invest. 100%. Not just from a financial perspective, but from a point of view of time, effort, adherence, dedication. You know? And that's, as a coach, we don't really have much influence on that. Yes, we can have a consultation call, but...
And you can remind them of it every week.
How much deep down desire you have on your ability to change will be the driving force of your success with any coach.
So I had two clients that started together, PT clients, right? And it comes down to the expectations of going into that. So one of them was really open-minded, ready to learn, will listen to whatever I teach them about. The other one had an expectation that I'm going to be dying at the end of my PT session. I'm not going to be able to walk properly the next day, and that's what it's going to be every single time. That's what she wanted. Well, 2 weeks into it, this one who wanted all that has left because I don't learn anything. I'm not learning anything. Yeah. This one's still going and is really getting the hang of it now. 4 months later, they have a conversation. Oh, you're doing really well. Like, who's your PT? Well, I'm still with Luke. Yeah. What? I didn't think we learned anything. No, that's what he said to you from the beginning. I'm not going to write you off because you'll never come back. Which is what happened. Like it happens. So it's about managing your client's expectations.
So, expectations are a massive one, because sometimes someone will come to you. You probably experience this. They don't even know what's best for themselves.
No, they don't. No.
So that's where the experience comes in, and you go, right, okay, I know you want X, Y, Z, but what do you really want? Because some people might say they want 12. They want 12-week transformation, but really they want to change their whole life. They're just saying this 12 weeks is the start.
Their expectation is they can do their life in 12 weeks, and then you've got to talk them around.
And that's the thing. A lot of people come into bulldozing into being coached with these massive unrealistic expectations. Then they get 3 weeks in, they go, "Oh, I've not lost my 25 pounds." It's like, that is not my fault. That's not your fault. That's not anyone's fault, apart from you thinking that you can lose 25 pounds in 3 weeks. That's not gonna fucking happen. So when you're coaching someone like that, you're losing the battle from the day one. So like the main thing is making sure that when you get people on calls, like I do this all the time, I go, right, this is how it's gonna go. This is how you should expect the process to be.
This is what you get.
And this is where my members area comes in, where I break down the process and try and give them as much insight and education as possible so they understand it.
And I feel like mine's going to lead to something similar to that, but I'm still at the stage, probably what you were at when you were just below 20 clients, is like you've got the time there to give them.
You can do it all individually. And this is another thing about business. Like when you've got a certain level of clients, you can do all the tedious, monotonous tasks individually.
Yeah.
But when you get to a certain level, 50, 75, 100, you want to start automating.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what I really work with my mentees
But
on.
keeping that level, which I think is
Keeping
something
that
that
level
you've
of
always
service.
done.
Bring that semi-automation.
So I know
in.
someone that started with you when you first started coaching. Do you know when it was just a plan? It looks a PDF that you sent
those
out.
PDFs were shocking.
But
they were so basic.
But like, even then, it was still a higher level of service, and I think you charged him 20 quid at the time.
Yeah, weren't much.
Than what people were charging 100 quid for.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is one thing I really want to stress, is that when you're beginning something, the objective should always be to provide more value than you take. So give more than you take.
You've got
you have to earn the position of parity within that. You know? So you have to be maybe 3-4 years down the line when you can take as much as you give. But at the very beginning, you have to give way more than you take.
And you've constantly proven yourself.
You have to.
And you're proving yourself to people that know you as well. Because you're not an authoritative figure to them. Does that make sense? So like...
Yes.
So for me, obviously, like I said, at Lodo, I was helping these influencers with other brands and other products. And, bro, the amount of people that I've helped bring up their social media, who now have a really good social media business, but as soon as Lodo went under, that I became irrelevant, like nowhere to be seen, no thanks, no nothing. Like, it is about, what did you say then? The last point then?
I forgot.
It's gone, bro.
What did I say?
I don't remember.
You're about giving more than you take.
Yeah. Give him more than take. Yeah. So like,
that's how ADHD I am. What did I just say? Like, you literally looked at me dead in the eye. I was like, what did you just say? And I was like, I've got no idea. I just chat breeze, bruv, and just mate. When people say to me, "What's your plan?" I'm like, my plan is just to get through the day.
Bro, I know you was that, and then when you sent me at 7 o'clock this morning the full breakdown of the day,
he's up early.
It's like, what the fuck going on? Is this Steve? Where's Steve?
Yeah, I had a good day this morning. Yeah.
But yeah, we've stuck to none of the timings, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, you're constantly proving yourself. So everyone at Lodo knew me as like helping these people with their businesses. When it then came to me educating people about coaching, they were like, hang on a minute, you've not been doing it. So it's like, prove it. You've got to prove. You're constantly proving
validation,
yourself.
Man. Yeah. Validation's a massive part of service-based industries. Like, look at Amazon, for God's sake. Like, Amazon at the beginning were a small company that no one bought off. 25 years later, everyone uses Amazon. Every single day. They've got more delivery drivers than most actual parcel companies. So, like, it's about building that up, and there are certain ways to do that within the industry. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go through some of the questions. We've got, was it 5 or 6 points?
6, yeah.
6 points.
Dealing with criticism is the first one.
Dealing with criticism in are we talking about coaching? We're talking about business. We're talking about bodybuilding and everything. Let's just package it, actually.
Let's do social media. Yeah,
social media. Yeah, right? Dealing with criticism on social media. Okay.
You've got a very similar response, man. Yours is probably a bit more blunt.
Yeah, look, with me, you know, if you haven't read the book, I mean, I haven't read the book, but the best way that I can say this to you is if you just read the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, will give you everything you need to know about people's opinions, where to put value and where to actually put some weight behind someone's opinion. Because I always say my number one rule, and this is a rule that everyone should stick to, if that person's opinion is coming from someone that isn't a phone number in your contacts list, it does not matter, right? Because
I agree.
They're not close enough to know you. They're not close enough to know what your goals and what your intentions are. They're not close enough to actually be informed of your behaviour, who you are as a person. They don't know you. So anyone who doesn't have your number can't be close enough to have an actual valid opinion of you. Now,
valid opinion.
Now,
they can have an opinion.
They can have an opinion. Opinions are like
valid opinion.
Bro, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got them, and 99.9% of them smell like shit half the time. Yeah. So everyone has an opinion. They can say what they want. They can do what they want. More power to you, my friend. Shout out, Maggie. But what I'm saying is, when that opinion is directed at you, you've got to take that into consideration. You've got to say, well, does this mean anything to me? Is this coming from someone who knows who I am? And like, don't get me wrong, I've had some clients come to me in the past, and they've said X, Y, Z, and I've taken that far more personally because they've been working with me. They know me. Yeah. You know, and like,
I think it's different if you're
but that's not social media. That's more of a personal sort of feedback, right? Yeah. And
I think that comes down to the ADHD part as well.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I mean, ADHD. I mean, I've been reading a lot or listening to a lot of books on this new Headway app, which is amazing, by the way. If If you've got
I've
ADHD, Headway. Good, isn't it? Yeah, it's class. And I think it's great for anyone who's got ADHD. Go to Headway app, download it. So good, right? And also as well, it helps with just information because I can't sit and read a book.
No.
So I like those summaries and I like those things. But yeah, in terms of criticism from social media, like I just don't care anymore.
No.
I've really like, you know how people say it all the time. Oh, I don't give a fuck. They do. Like I genuinely don't anymore because I've been hit that many times. I've been put down that many times. I'm still here. I'm still improving. So what does that say to the opinions that have been given?
What would you say has made you get to that point though? Like what was the switch?
Just consistently going through the consistent loop of, all right, that's someone's opinion. Okay. Has it affected me? No. Does my life move on? Yes.
And I think that's
and just
where
you have to consistently go through that loop.
That's where people give up. Is because what do you mean I've got to tell myself? People want someone else to tell them.
Right.
People want someone else to lean on for it. Well, no, it's your own life, right? And you've got to talk yourself. I have this analogy with one client in particular, who he wants to lose this weight, but he'll get dragged down by like the food he's got to eat, or like people saying to him like you're not making progress as quick as you want to. Don't come down to that. You've got to talk yourself around. Like you got to manage your own brain. You can't rely on someone else to push you through that. It's not possible.
One thing I will say about talking, manifestation is very important. However, the best way to build trust with yourself is by building trust through your actions. Let's put it this way. Say you've got 20 tasks a day, right? And you go through a 6-month period and you nail those 20 tasks every single day. What does that do? That proves to you that you are capable of executing X, Y, Z every single day. And if you do that over a 3, 4, 5 year period, you're going to trust your instincts, you're going to trust your judgment, you're going to trust your own opinion of yourself very fucking highly.
Yeah.
Because you've built that trust over such a long period of time that somebody who doesn't know you can't penetrate the trust that you have for yourself because you've done it for so long. You've done it that many years, that many days, you've kept so many promises to yourself, and it's those promises that you've kept to yourself that have allowed me to build such a strong opinion of myself. My opinion can be right or wrong. It doesn't matter. My opinion is my opinion. What I'm saying is that opinion becomes impregnable by other people because I've done things that people don't see. You don't need to do loads of things on social media and prove yourself to everyone. Like if you wake up, like I've gone through 4 preps. I know when I test myself what I'm made of because I've been through that process. And that's where like bodybuilding and prepping comes in very handy, is that you are able to build that trust up with yourself.
It's you against you, isn't it?
And then that's where like, and going back to the point of criticism, once you trust yourself, once you back your instincts, once you back those opinions can't, because those opinions have to come from such a valid place that they would even come close to being able to battle you versus your own opinion. Because you've got 300 lots of data for your own opinion versus 1 lot of data. That's 300 to 1.
Yeah.
That's how insignificant that one is, because you've got so many data points to go from. You've kept so many promises to yourself. You just look at that and go, don't know what you're on about.
Literally.
It's like, you can say that, but I know what my intentions are. And like the thing for me is, I think if you go around your circle of friends and you have an honest conversation with them and they don't have anything bad to say, that's what matters.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not talking about constructive criticism. I'm talking about genuine negativity. Like if your close friends aren't saying anything like that and it's all just positive vibes and good stuff, what does the opinions of
someone you've never met before,
Jihad 237516, oh yeah, you've got a small dick. I fucking have, mate. Like I don't care. My missus loves my dick. I don't care, mate.
Yeah.
Like your opinion, like a lot of people read that and go, shit.
I might wear pants. I might.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna block my dick out next time. That's what I'm saying. That's such an instant feedback loop, though.
Yeah.
That's such an instant feedback loop that someone will go, I was like, I'm gonna block my penis out next time.
I'd take it back to, do you know when you were on holiday as a kid, and your parents would be like, just take your top off. You're never gonna see them again. Yeah. It's the same with social media. You're probably never going to see.
You're never going to see them again.
Never going to see them.
Never going to see them in person.
You won't know who they are. Like
so. That makes a bit long-winded, but that's how I would deal with criticism. Personally, just to give you a brief overview of how the process behind.
Only
that
focus
works.
on criticism from yourself.
Self-criticism and self-evaluation is really important.
It's
mate, I do it all the time.
Underestimated, undervalued.
I think the best way to proceed And the best way to progress is to perform an action, see the outcome, review the outcome, digest what's happened, and then evaluate on how to improve.
And
So
that
let's say
comes from being uncomfortable.
Let's say from a training perspective, let's go to bodybuilding again. Let's say from a training session perspective, right? Say you do upper one, right? And you perform your certain lifts, certain sets, certain execution. You have the opportunity then to review, digest, and then strategize to become better for your next upper one session. That's a very simple term.
Yeah,
You can apply that to business, you can apply it to personal, you can apply it to relationships. Like, you want to make sure you have that consistent feedback loop in your brain to go, okay, well, I'm not going to worry about this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze it a little bit, not overanalyze it. Paralysis via overanalysis is deadly.
Yeah.
So don't overanalyze, because otherwise you just force yourself into inaction.
Yeah.
And inaction is just the worst thing you can do. But
Yeah.
make sure you digest a little bit and then just see how you can improve.
Yeah. Literally.
And then no one's opinion is going to penetrate nothing. It's all about making sure, bro, that what happens between these ears is impenetrable. There's so much shit that happens in the environment outside, so many distractions, so much white noise, right? But you have the consistent ability and 100% responsibility to allow nothing to penetrate.
Yeah.
And that's
And it comes to you. It comes down to you.
And like, this is where I don't like people who blame others.
No.
Because you have to be ultimately responsible for everything that happens in your life. Whether it's negative, whether it's positive. Like, you can always take a positive out of a situation and turn it into...
It can always be worse.
Well, we know that. we started that off with this. What's the next one?
Competing. I don't know whether that's...
What should we...
How do we want to do that?
Competing in terms of, in general, I reckon... You're competing this year?
Yeah, I am. September.
Yeah, so September. How are you feeling about it? Because you competed before once.
Twice. 2018 was the first one, and then that was November 2018.
Yeah.
And then I did May 2019.
Oh, yeah, you did the body power.
I did the body power one whilst planning the stand.
Because I didn't know you before then. Yes, that's why I said one. So that's my bad.
Yeah. So then I was meant to compete the year of COVID, but obviously COVID happened. And then I was going to compete 21. Was it 21? But found out about my daughter. So then I kind of put all my time and effort into that. And then I was going to compete last year, but so in 2019 I had an ear infection which stemmed into like a middle ear infection, then into a skin cell tumour in the middle ear, which was affecting like my facial nerves. But because of COVID and me being high risk from lymphoma, 2017, I couldn't have the operation, so 3 years, so that just kept building and building and building to the point where the big days where this side of my face just didn't move. It was like settings, like through COVID. So that operation was June last year.
So you had to put everything on hold. Basically.
Everything on hold, and it just kept pushing back. Ideally, I didn't want a 4-year off season. I wanted to, because I'm 30 this year, and I am going to go assisted at the end of this year. That's always been the plan. But I wanted to compete naturally a few more times beforehand, but obviously that's gone out the window. So we're doing the UK DFBA as my first show this year, and then PCA, FitX, and NFM. So there's 4 shows in the row.
Good. So you're not just doing one. That's good.
No, I wanted to do 8. I wanted to do Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's just where they all are. It's hard. There's one in Cambridge, then to Manchester, which is like it's too much stress to put on it. So we're gonna go for them 4. I'm not competing for what I think most people do it for.
Yeah. Why'd you do it?
I do it because I fucking love it. Like, so when the way I explain it is, people growing up, they enjoyed football, they enjoyed cricket. I was never into all that. I went out with mates and I hung around on fucking parks and shit, like with knobhead. Then starting to lose my weight on my own journey, and I wore a gold gym vest. You've seen the gold gym vest, you know, the string vest.
I've still got one.
And someone turns to me and went,
I think mine's a knockoff though.
mine was cheap meal special, bro.
Pound shop
You're not big enough to wear one of them. And I just kind of questioned it, and he was like, you'll never get on stage, like you could never be that person. So then I was like, yeah, I could. So I did it, and then I went down to Kent on my own for the whole weekend. Went to the show. I remember going getting tanned, thinking this is the most. Bearing in mind, at this point I hadn't taken my top off in front of anybody for like 10 years. It was that kind of, even on Instagram when I first started, it was posted me in the gym for that protein Dynamix. It wasn't without my top on or anything like that. So I went down to the show and I met a few people there. But then going on stage, I got the feeling that I could see people had growing up with football and stuff like that. Really loved it. Just enjoyed the whole process and then getting there and doing that. So then I did the body power one, and then that solidified it. This is what I like. I want to see how far I can push this.
I like that approach though, because you tested the water, and then you were like, right, do you know what? That's my confirmation. I think that's a really good approach for any people that are looking to try things. And I think explore the option first, and then test your water, and then see if you. Because a lot of people, they fucking fully diverse themselves into a prep, and they don't even know if gym and fitness is what they want to do.
No, that's literally the first thing that they do.
I've
had people come to me saying they want to prep for a show, but they've not.
They've been in the gym for like 5 months. They go, right, I'm going to compete. It's like, whoa. You haven't even solidified with yourself whether you're going to focus on your nutrition and training for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Let alone fucking.
I think that's what helped most with the off season. I got to put a lot of time into the training styles, different training methods, different nutrition. The amount of nutrition courses I've done is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not just to learn everything that I can. But I'm like that. I guess you're like that as well, though. Once you find something you enjoy, you could spend 20 hours doing that, and it's not going to affect.
I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of.
So through COVID, that's literally all.
Yeah, so a lot of time.
It was just went into mainly mesocycles, but mainly all of it went into that. But yeah.
So would you say the most enjoyable part of the process for you is training?
Yeah. I like the stage part as well.
So you like the stage part?
Yeah, and I don't know whether that's because I've been so uncomfortable in them settings before.
So what is it? Is it the challenge that the prep presents, or is it the outcome?
Both. I think it's both. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because from my perspective, the outcomes are always irrelevant. So like when people say,
to me in terms of like placing, I'm not.
No. I'm not talking about placing.
I'm on about like how I look. That I think that plays a big part.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
like in terms of like the overall, placings is another whole outcome.
I don't have any.
Yeah, that should be completely described, because at the end of the day, like bodybuilding, I don't consider bodybuilding a sport. People do, but like the concept of bodybuilding is that you put all your time and effort into improving, for you to give 100% of the responsibility onto somebody you've never met. That to me is not a sport. That to me isn't fair. That to me, like, sport has some sort of regulation and rules. Bodybuilding has no rules. Bodybuilding's not a sport. It's a beauty pageant. Like, anyone who wants to come and chat to me in the DM,
it is though.
I'll categorically stay here. Bodybuilding is not a fucking sport. Sport has rules. Sport has regulations.
The training's a sport.
Right?
The training.
Yeah, but the training. But what I'm saying is the actual competing and going on stage. People consider that as a sport because you can get money from it. Like, how can you say that 4 people decide your fate and that's a sport? Imagine if that was football.
No,
Imagine if that was football. Like, at least with
don't
football,
matter what the goals.
Like,
we're going to judge you on how you play.
At the end of the day, like, imagine if you got won a game on possession or how many long passes you made. Like, it's the same thing. Like, there are certain distinguishable factors that you need to have to make sure that you are going to be a success or not. We don't have that in bodybuilding. No. And that's where the outcome is, like, genuinely irrelevant. And like, I know a lot of people go, oh, of course the outcome means something because you can become a pro. Like, yes, you can. But what I'm saying is that's so circumstantial. That's so right place, right time. You wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Like, because there are some people who have pro-worthy physiques that may never be a pro because they're not there at the right time. That every time they compete, they compete against someone who's just a little bit better.
There's so much politics in bodybuilding which people underestimate.
Politics is just one side of it. You don't even want to. We're not even going to open that kind of worms. What I'm saying is, like, people treat this as a sport. It's not a sport. Like, it can't be a sport. It will never be a sport. And like, it doesn't matter how much money's pumped through it. Like, there needs to be. There's never going to be regulation.
No.
There's never going to be rules. Right. There's going to always be that level of unknown when you go on stage.
Yeah.
And like, I disagree entirely with all these coaches that go, "Oh yeah, we're going to become undeniable." What the fuck does that mean, bro? You can't become undeniable because you can have 3 people that look at you in the same light and in the same fucking picture,
and they'll all have
a different opinion. Yeah. That can not be associated with being undeniable. Like, it's you can't make that correlation.
One judge.
But that's the thing. If it was one judge, I would understand. But it's never one judge. It's always 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So when you have
and
that,
they're
many
all gonna have like someone they know or someone a friend of a friend competing.
Well, the reason why I do it all is because I love consistently challenging myself.
Yeah.
And the quickest way to challenge myself is through that extreme.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a different extreme in bodybuilding to challenge myself, I would pursue it. But with this particular outlay and like the layout of obviously how you have to achieve certain things in bodybuilding, the quickest way to challenge myself is to prep.
Yeah.
Is to off season. You know, I always say I don't do this because I'm like shit at it. Like I would be doing something else if I wasn't good at this. I'd be fishing, or I'd be playing snooker, I'd be playing football.
Yeah.
Like I'm good at this, so I continue to do it.
Yeah.
Like I have so much respect for people who aren't genetically gifted, who don't have the same muscle insertions, have to really work really hard, have to be 100% all day, every day for years and years and years to get 10% of the progress that I get.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't do that.
No.
Like, if I was put in that position, I would give up.
Yeah.
I would like that's just me being completely honest. And people might say, "Oh, well, you're lucky," and blah blah blah. Like I am lucky. You're right. I do this because I'm good at it. Like I don't do it because I'm not like. It's one of those things, and this is where bodybuilding's so broad. Like everyone could do this, and like people get so annoyed when someone's slightly better than someone else. It's like it's such an unfair playing field.
It is,
and again, that's why it can't be considered as a sport. Like it's such an unfair playing field. There's so many different factors. And like people need to stop getting so emotionally attached.
You put a dampener on it, and you start to regress when you start to compare yourself to other people. Like everyone's been on different journeys. Like how long ago did you start training?
When I was 16.
So it's
what,
like
10 years.
10 years. Right. So we've been training around the same time. But when did you start your bodybuilding?
I reckon I probably got properly into it. I was about 18.
So mine was like 24, 25.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 years in.
Yeah.
I've then found out about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I didn't go.
Do you know what I think that is? I will say that I think I got into it quicker because I was good at it. Because everyone was like, you should do this, you should do that. And although I didn't take them on their word for it, like it was a case of I saw the amount of progress that I made, and I had conversations with people, and they were like, your progress is abnormal. It's abnormally quick for how quick how young you are. And like again, I would probably have taken 5 years to get to that point if it had taken longer. Do you know what I mean? But it didn't. So like I'm a outcome of circumstance where like my situation has led to a certain outcome, and then therefore that has dictated my next move. You know, if it had taken 4 or 5 years, then I probably wouldn't be an online coach. I wouldn't be a bodybuilder, etc., etc. But like that's just the cards you get dealt. You know? And I think that's really important when people get upset about certain things regarding their progress and stuff like. Unfortunately, the reality of the situation is we are all different. We all progress differently. We all have different rates, and comparing yourself to somebody else is just going to deprive you and thieve you of your own joy of your process.
Taking out like the appreciation for what you've actually done.
It's a challenge. Like, at the end of the day, you got to strip it down to parts, mate. It's all challenge.
Literally.
It's all challenge process. Like focus on the challenge. Focus on being better than yesterday. That's your goal, and that's it.
Yeah.
The rest of it, we'll fucking worry about that later. Just focus on the day to day, and then the rest of it can come. Simple.
Yeah. Agreed.
What's the next one?
What to believe on socials?
Oh god, what to believe, what not to believe, what to believe? Very little. I want your opinion on this one first.
What to believe on socials, what not to believe on socials. If it's a, if I don't know.
Come on, be stick your neck out.
I think if you're following a business page, any business page, then take it all with a pinch of salt, all of it.
What do you mean? No,
like
come on. Don't be around the bush here, bud.
No, like it's. Think about what social media is. It's. Oh, I don't know how to word.
Come on, don't mince your words now, kid. We're talking about beef mince for time downstairs, bro. Don't mince them now.
I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what you want to. What part you want. I just.
Okay, let's simplify it. When people are giving advice, right? What do you take in and what do you not? Because that's the problem.
Me personally, I don't believe anything on social media. Not one thing.
There's your answer.
I don't listen to a single thing.
Why did we just cut to the chase?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Geezer was like,
I was overthinking it.
So basically, believe nothing on social media.
Yeah, if you get right, you could take any person, any famous person that you listen to and that you probably have like respect for. Look at what they posted. Scroll down. I guarantee you they were posting it 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It's just reworded. Like it's the same shit. No one. It's like past relationships have come down to you're always on social media. I don't use social media the same way, and I guarantee you don't use social media the same way as what your average person would.
Yeah.
I don't sit there scrolling.
It's a game.
A game.
It's a game.
A game. That's what social media is.
And I'll be honest with
The
you.
only people that get me and like more information from me that is valuable are the people that I work with. Because that's what social media is. It's my business.
Yep.
It's your business. People will see that as it's a personal profile. So they've taken like 4 days to respond. You know, it's just like a normal message, not a business inquiry, because it's different. You'd probably respond to that pretty quick.
Yeah.
But like just general chit chat, I don't do that on social media. That's why I pick up the phone and I just phone you, because I'm not a messenger. I'm not. So yeah, I take social media as a game, all of it.
And speaking about it being a game, a lot of people genuinely underestimate how much of a game some people play.
Yeah,
like, I'm talking. Some people are one way with me on their WhatsApp and one way with everyone else on Instagram.
Yeah,
that's how much of a game we're talking.
So I'll give you an example. When I first started on my own, I was pumping out so much content on my stories. Well, then I got to where I needed to get to business wise, and I put my effort and time into the people that were paying my wage. And the messages that you get off Instagram, are you alright? Where have you got?
Oh, I used to get that a lot.
It's like, what? I was like, bro, I don't use it for that.
Do you know what? I got
like
that
it, like
so
it's
much
really
in the
deep
last
that you've
sort of
not
12
posted
months.
on it.
Yeah,
like,
I've got that a lot in the last 12 months. You know, I've had like 2 bouts of like being.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of that.
And
over
it's
the last
like,
12 months.
what do you mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
what do you
seriously
mean?
think it is that I sit here scrolling
Post
through
them
my
all day. Yeah.
Yeah, sit there watching story views. Like, no, don't post and go.
You know what? I've become very good at using Instagram for me posting stuff on it, replying to messages, and that's it.
Yeah, literally.
In terms of my scroll time, it's don't get me wrong,
Nothing.
I do get caught about it sometimes, but it's vastly reduced compared to what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, no.
Because like at the end of the day, like the thing is with social media, right? We all need to use it in a way that's benefiting us. Now, if you benefit from immersing yourself in someone's content,
that's your switch off. Then
that's your switch off. That's your
Sound.
vice. More power to you.
Yeah.
Now, for us, we use it as a vehicle for marketing. We use it as a vehicle for validation. We use it as a vehicle for promotion for our business, promotion of ourselves, documentation. For me, it's a vehicle.
Yeah.
Right? Other people, it's a vice. For me, it's a vehicle, and for others, it's just an opportunity to reach out to people.
Yeah.
Now, the problem that you've got with social media is that everyone thinks it's got to be used the same way they use it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And
So
that's
if
how
I use
you're
it- if
viewing
I-
it. That's
so
how
if-
you're viewing
So
everyone as well.
if someone's in my position, they're using it as a vehicle, they'll go, well, why isn't everyone else using it as a vehicle? Why isn't everyone else using it as a marketing tool? Why isn't everyone else using it to build validation for themselves?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like,
Or then they'll switch that opinion, right? So
Yeah.
someone is using it as a marketing tool, but they think they're using it as a personal
yeah,
tool.
and they'll get the,
so
they'll,
then they'll get
the lines
really
crossed.
angry about
They'll
it.
get
and
the
they're like,
lines blurred. Yeah,
It's
like
you've got to,
the-
you've got to
the
evaluate
long-
situations and
The,
realise
the
what
long
people
and the
actually
short of
do
it
for
is that Instagram and social media is there to be used entirely how you wish, and do not worry about how someone else is using it. Don't overthink it. Like, take Instagram with a massive, huge bucket load of fucking salt,
Yeah.
right? Find Himalayan salt magic. Take it with that shit. Because, honestly, people want you to see what they want you to see,
Yes.
right? And
Regardless
that is it.
how much they say they're open about it.
Bro,
It's
don't
not-
even get me started yet.
'Cause
I've got a couple clients, and I will not name names, who are coaches, who are they are literally living an alternative reality on Instagram. To the point where, if I message them...
I don't see an app called Instagram.
I don't see an app called Instagram. Well, you're fucking in the dark ages. to the point where, like, I've sometimes said to them, I popped up to them on Instagram going, what are you doing? Like, because it's not in their plan. They go, oh, don't worry about it. I'm not actually doing this. I'm here. I'm like, what? Like, you've just posted a picture where you're not in the current location that you're in. Like, what?
Yeah.
Bro, it's that deep
I've
though,
had
man.
people do that.
Bro,
yeah.
it's that deep, man. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
you're telling me you're not there right now? I was like, nah, mate, I just posted it. I was like, I mean, even for me, that's like, wow. Wait, okay. Okay, then. Like, but one thing I will say, if that's how you want to use Instagram,
Yeah, it's
more
sound.
power to
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
More power to you. If
Yeah.
that's how you want to use Instagram, you use it that way. That's fine.
But
I'm
don't
just
get
a bit
arsy
there.
about-
I'm just there like a bit baffed. Like, fair play. If that's how you want to use Instagram, that's how you use it. I just wouldn't use it that way. You know, I mean, I'm not just saying this because we're on a podcast, but I am one of the realest people in the industry on Instagram.
I even tried to catch you out before, and yeah.
Oh yeah, so basically, he tried to fuck me over, right? Let me tell you this now. This smart ass little bastard.
I'm going to edit it.
He thought, oh yeah, do you know what? I'm going to catch him out. Because you know the Nespresso pod? I chucked the Nespresso pod in the thing, right? He's thinking, I'm going to catch this bastard out. He's going to take 25 goes. Yeah, it took me 2 times. Took me 2 times. Then he goes with the camera like, oh, well, I didn't really work, did it?
I didn't catch it.
I must stop recording now.
I'm just going to edit it. It took him
do
20 times.
2 times, bang. I didn't even do it for weeks. I was rusty and bang, still got it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the thing is with stuff like that, like, you've got to just look at it, digest it, and go, "Yep, cool, that's fine." But if it's not impacting you personally, who cares? I see a lot of people who like.
Also, if you're seeing shit on Instagram that you don't like and you've got an opinion on, you realise you're following them people.
Just mute them, man. Oh mate,
Or unfollow them. Like,
mate,
you're following them.
Oi,
why are you getting angry about
let's
someone
not
that
get
you
into this
followed
subject.
on?
The amount of people that I mute right now,
It's
just to keep the peace. And do you know what? I absolutely know that the shoe's on the other foot, and people have done that to me. I know people that follow me that have muted me because I'm Marmite, bro.
Yeah.
I'm Marmite.
Yeah.
Some people like my personality, some people don't, and that's absolutely fine, right? For whatever reason, some people think I'm too much, some people think I'm not enough, some people think I'm arrogant, some people think I'm not. Like, I could not give 2 fucks because at the end of the day,
if you know me,
Instagram is a vehicle for what we do,
yeah.
right? Let me be categorically clear on the record. If I did not have a business and my income didn't reflect the presence that I have on social media and the two weren't connected, I would not use Instagram.
Same.
I don't use TikTok.
No.
I don't use Twitter.
Same.
Right? I literally use Instagram and YouTube, right? And that's because they are the best vehicles for me to increase my business.
Same.
Like, straight up. Like, if I use Twitter, I would be completely fucking contradicting my argument because Twitter is just a bitch fest. Like, there's no positivity on Twitter whatsoever.
No.
It's a fucking cesspit.
You don't hear
of fucking
anyone
negativity.
say anything
Like,
positive
bro, it's
from
a
Twitter.
terrible app. I've never had it since day one. And that just goes to show that you have to just use those vehicles and outlets as you please.
Remember what you're doing, basically.
Yeah, don't get sucked into it. And a lot of people believe their own hype, mate. They get sucked into like, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, mate, Ultraflex Rotherham, the biggest fucking con city in the world, mate. You get people coming into Ultraflex, right, who are a certain way on Instagram, and you meet them in person, you go, you're a fucking fraud. Like, who the fuck is this?
Funny enough,
Who the fuck is this sitting right here? Because that ain't you on Instagram, you fucking fraud.
On my intro, I've said something completely that contradicts that.
Why?
I don't know. I agree with you though on that,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
But on the intro, I've gone, do you know how people say don't meet like your idols or like your heroes? Well, I met Ryan Terry the other week. I met Steve, and like they've both been mint.
Yeah, but do you know what? Those are very isolated incidents.
Oh yeah, I know that.
I'm talking about the broad concept. But I'll be real with you. There are going to be some times when you meet someone, they're like, do you know what? You're a sound geezer.
Relationships in business, bro.
Relationships in business. I think they're incredibly
You're probably better
important.
with that one than me.
Relationships in business mean absolutely everything because you are the sum of your parts, right? So if you've got 5 people that are millionaires, you're really highly likely to become that 6th millionaire. If you're spending time around 5 people who are drug dealers, you're going to get dragged into that drug world. And it's really important to make sure that you're surrounding yourself within the right circle of business people if you're looking to progress as a businessman. Now, we're talking about online coaching, but one thing I have realized over the last 3 years is that business is so universal and it really can be applied to everyday life in so many ways. And the fundamental key about business is going back to that whole feedback loop of executing, analyzing, digesting, implementing. So like execute something, analyze it, execute, digest, analyze, implement. Those are your 4 key points.
Yeah.
And like if you're around people that are consistently going through that feedback loop, you're going to do nothing but progress because you're going to look at it from the point of, do you know what? The whole fear of failure and the whole fear of not achieving something goes out the window because you have that feedback loop. You go, right, I'm going to execute, digest, analyze, implement. Execute, digest,
you don't
analyze,
sway
implement.
from that, do you? You stick to
because
that.
it becomes a process. Just how we do bodybuilding, how you do your nutrition plan, training plan. When you're around those people in business, you have that feedback loop in your brain consistently. Like, bro, I'm at the point now where if I watch a fucking advert, I'm looking at the advert and I'm going, why are they making people buy that Big Mac? How are they placing the product? How are they talking? What are they saying? and what are their objectives for people to try and buy that Big Mac. And I'm looking at that from a point of view of the actual marketing of the advert itself.
Yeah.
Not just looking at it for, oh, look, the Big Mac's $2.99, blah, blah, blah. Like, and that's the process that you have to think. Once you start thinking about that and analysing data in that sort of way, that only comes from the people that I've spent my time with.
Yeah.
I didn't get that from my parents.
No.
But I had to shift.
You don't get it from school.
And this is something that's really important. Like, I had to shift my environment probably 3 or 4 times to get to where I am now. So I went from home to college, went from college to uni, went from uni to living on my own, went from there to Sheffield. So probably like 3 or 4 different environments to get to the point where I can consistently perform and analyse at that rate.
Yeah.
You know, and that only comes from the people that I spend my time with.
Yeah.
And the content that I digest. And I think it's really important that when you have a solid relationship with someone who knows their shit, shut up and listen.
Literally.
Shut up and listen.
Yeah.
If someone comes into the room and they know more than you, shut the fuck up and listen. Just analyse and digest what the fuck they're saying.
Because you'll get people that go, yeah, but...
Bro, no buts. If someone comes into the room, if someone comes into the room, right, and they know more than you on anything, shut the fuck up and listen.
Take it in.
Questions after.
Yeah.
Listen, because the worst thing you can do is interrupt someone when they're trying to give you value. Because then you're going to divert them and distract them, right? Listen, shut the fuck up, take it on board, try and implement it, and then go through that feedback loop, right? So when you're listening to someone, you take out the first feedback loop of execution. So you analyse, you digest, analyse, implement. So digest what someone's saying, analyse what they're saying, and make an informed decision on whether you think that's true or not.
Yeah.
Then implement it.
Yeah.
And then you come back to your execution.
Yeah. It's literally that.
It's that feedback loop.
Yeah.
Consistently. And I think that's a massive thing that I've realised with relationships in business is that you want to really surround yourself, not by how much money they've got. Of course, money and amount of achievements they've got helps, but it's their mentality that you want to get attracted to. You know, because I was rich in my mind before I was rich in my bank account.
Yeah.
Now, I'm still not where I want to be, but I was rich in my mind first. Like, if online coaching was taken away from me right now, I would make money somewhere else. Because I apply the same feedback loop and the same principles to something else. And I think that's really important to surround yourself with those people, because if you don't, you can get complacent. And complacency is the silent killer of progress.
It's the worst thing. You don't see... Progress comes from being
Think
uncomfortable.
about how many people
Every time you've
seen?
been uncomfortable, you've made progress.
How many people have you seen that are bodybuilders that have had so much potential and their complacency has let them just slip and they've just fallen by the wayside?
I'll say it, but that he's never going to watch. Ryan Terry is the exact same person.
Yeah.
Because he became so big, so quick.
Yeah.
He never
Too
took an
much
off
too
season.
soon. Too much
So
too
if
soon.
if you don't take that off season and you're at the top level of men's physique, and you've got these people like what's he called? The guy who beat fucking hell.
Don't ask me about bodybuilding, man. I have no interest. I have no interest in men's physique. I do not watch any bodybuilding shows. I am the worst bodybuilder you can ever imagine. I do not follow anyone.
That leads us on to the next one, bro, which is relationships in bodybuilding.
Oh yeah. So basically, I have none. Everyone hates me. I'm a proper cunt. Nah. To be fair, I think you got to be really careful with bodybuilding.
There's a lot of politics, isn't there?
You got to be really careful with who you associate yourself.
It's the
with.
weirdest sport ever.
Yeah.
Sport. It's the weirdest industry ever. Like,
you've got to stop calling it sport, but carry on.
I said industry. I changed. You can cut the sport part out.
No, we're not saying that. We're live and direct.
Yeah, it's the weirdest industry. It can be the most supportive, but also the most
toxic.
Yeah.
I think it's really difficult to build long-term relationships in this business because everyone's so easily offended now. And all you can do, you can have like a 2-year relationship with someone, and you could say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Literally. So like, there's people that I've known through the Lodo. So like, pretty much when I started bodybuilding, and because I became a coach, they stopped speaking to me. It's like,
oh, bro,
what?
Like, do you know one thing I've realised? Let's talk about that. Actually, so many people wanted to help me when I was up and coming.
But now you're here, they don't want. No, I'm pissed off at you. Like, what are you doing?
Mate, do you know what? I even have the mindset and the thought process to enter that frame.
It's so weird that
so many people will help you at the very beginning because you're not a threat. And then as soon as there's almost like, I can imagine that there's almost like certain thresholds in people's brains where they go, right, he's reached a certain amount of success, right, I'm going to treat him differently now because he's a threat to me, he's a danger. And it's like, how can you possibly think that? Like, if I've got my people around me and I'm eating good, so are they. But one thing I've learned, those people that you want to eat good, make sure it's a small amount of people. Because you can't be looking after 15, 20, 30
No,
people.
you can't.
Right? You want to have a group of friends that are probably no more than on your hand, right? No more than 5, right?
Yeah.
That you really want to like bring with you and look after and etc. Because like the rest of them will want you to get to a certain point, and all of these acquaintances and people who give advice will get you to a certain point, and then as soon as you overtake them, as soon as you're doing better than them, they become resentful. And they go, oh, I can't have that. I can't have this little buckling overtake me, doing it less than time than me. And I've seen it through my whole career, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those guys who's come up, won a British title at the junior levels, overtaken a lot of well-established bodybuilders, and they've gone, hold on a minute, fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
What's he doing? No, I'm not having that.
It's a jealousy thing as well, isn't it?
Well, jealousy and bodybuilding go hand in hand, my friend.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding and jealousy should be mentioned in the same sentence in every single time someone brings it up, because jealousy is literally interlinked with bodybuilding. Like, I don't get it. Even if someone is performing well, and even if someone is doing better than me and has a better physique, has more money, has more clients, chapeau, my friend.
Yeah.
Well done. Like, you've obviously made that happen over a long period of time, because there's no such thing as overnight success. I've been doing this long enough. But why can't people just appreciate someone's hard work? All they want to do is just bring someone down.
It takes more energy for you to be negative towards something.
But for some people, it don't, bro.
It does,
it
though.
Does
it
for
does.
us.
They just they don't realise it.
It does for us, yeah. But some people treat negativity as easily as positivity. Now,
do you feel like that comes down to people feeling sorry for themselves?
Bro, I think that's an inherent underlying issue with anyone who's willing to project their thoughts and feelings in a negative manner upon other people.
So I've got two points on that. The first one is something that came up on my stories the other day was relationships and the partner telling them that they don't want them to go to the gym.
You gotta get out of there.
Because like, how does
you know
that affect?
Right, okay. Let me give you. Let me tap into the psychological factor of this situation. So you've got a man and a woman.
Yeah.
You know, female.
But switch it round. So do the woman as the male. So the woman wants to go to the gym. And the
woman wants to go to the gym. The man doesn't want to go to the gym. Let me tell you the psychological aspect there. The person saying don't go to the gym is afraid of that person getting to a certain level of their life, improving to a certain level that they feel like they will not want them anymore.
Yeah, literally
that's that's the process. Yeah. But then you flip it on its head, right? Improve so that if the person next to you improves, you're on the same fucking level. Don't sit there. Don't sit there and you can't sit here and as a human being, as someone who has ambition, who wants to achieve something in life, you can't sit there with your fucking hands just crossed and twiddling your thumbs going, I'm not going to do anything about my life, but I'm going to let the people around me progress. You are fucking retarded if you're going to look at that like that. If someone's going to try and actively improve, whether that be in the gym, whether that be in business, do it with them. You know, if someone's going out and trying to improve, match their energy.
It comes to that
match
same
ambition.
point on. Like, I've had it again with another client that was like, I really want to take this job, but I've been told that if I take this job, then it's going to cause issues at home. And I'm like, what?
Fuck it.
I was like,
mate, look after number
people
one.
get relationships twisted. You should both add to each other. You should both have a life, and you should add to each other and make that better. Yeah. You should never. You don't have to write over someone to go. You can't do that because you're with me now. Yeah. Like it's not right. But it's the same.
It comes from insecurity, mate. It comes from the fact that going back to the whole keeping promises to yourself. That person is saying to that person, the man is saying to the woman, don't go to the gym because he knows deep down he can't keep the same promises to himself that she can.
Literally, yeah.
And that's what happened with me and my ex-relationship, right? I started banging gym. We fell out. We broke up. And then she starts going to the gym. And I'm like, if you were to match the energy that I was having at the time, then we wouldn't be in this situation. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and people think that being in a relationship is really what's holding them back. Take self-accountability.
That's what it is.
Bro, it's not your girlfriend.
It's you.
It's you, bro. Like, you're the one being lazy. Don't project your insecurities onto your partner because then that's going to make them feel insecure. And then you're both fucked. Yeah. You're both fucked.
Yeah. And that's a vicious cycle that you go through on every relationship.
Bro, you're both fucked, yeah. And then no one has the opportunity to build any confidence. No one has the opportunity to build any improvements because you're both fucking bringing each other down.
And then you blame each other.
And then you both blame each other. It's this vicious fucking awful cycle that gets no one anywhere. It's like, fuck me sideways. Like, flipping out. Like, what's wrong with people? Like, honestly, just let someone improve. And if you want them to not improve to a certain point, then make sure that you fucking improve with them. Like, all it comes down to is.
And if
is
you want to
people
live that
becoming
life where you feel sorry for yourself,
then find someone else.
find someone that lives their life feeling sorry for
Find
themselves.
someone who wants to
Don't
live their
hold
life
people
like
back from it.
Like, you can't have a hustler and a leech.
No.
You have to have two hustlers. You know, it ain't gonna work. You know, if you have a hustler and a leech, it will last for a while.
Yeah,
But
and
soon enough, the
and
leech will
usually
have
they're
no blood
the
to suck on.
ones that make out they're really happy on social media.
Oh, don't even get me started on the relationships and happiness. Bro, I am the most silent person on my relationship, and you've been in the room with me and the missus. We just have that level of understanding, and we just get on about our day. We understand that social media is what it is, right?
It's not. It's a game. It's a game.
As long as I'm going to bed with her, right, and as long as we are having the intimacy we're having the conversations that we're having, blah blah blah, nothing else.
Could
matters.
you imagine, right, if you went to the gym and then you was like, why is she not texting me for 3 hours?
Oh, I can't.
When you live with
I'd
her.
hate that. Yeah, I'd hate that.
But that goes through
I don't know
people's
how
head,
people
bro.
do that.
That my coaching is more mindset.
Fucking become independent, man. This is the problem, right? People, when they get into relationships, they forget about their own hopes.
Forget,
and
yeah.
It's like, bro, like, so many people work so fucking hard on themselves to get into a relationship, and then when they get into a relationship, they go, "Yeah, I can chill out now."
Yeah,
No, you
stop
fucking
going to
can't,
the gym,
bro.
It's like-
You build together, bro. You build together. You have ambitions. You have a certain level that you want to get into life, and coincidentally, at the opportunistic time frame, a female that comes along that you want to fucking rip her clothes off, you want to shag her every day, and then you fucking go up together. You build together. You don't just go, right, I've got my girl
Sound
now.
out.
Oh, sound mate, I'm just gonna get fat as fuck, boy. Like, bruv, like the effort and the level of dedication that you put in to get yourself to that position, continue it. Because guess what? Let me tell you this now. Like, this industry is lonely as fuck, mate. Lonely,
Especially if
as
you are
fuck.
an online coach where
Especially
you work
if you're an online coach,
at home.
especially if you're consistently working at home. You have very little time to socialise. You have very little opportunity to get out and have a human interaction.
The place where you go, no one wants to speak because they're trained.
Can't socialise much in the gym. Like, you got to understand that. I'm not saying get off this podcast and try and fucking go on Tinder and find your missus, but like, you want to make sure that you're building, and then if it comes to the right opportunity and you get the right girl that comes along, you have a talking stage, you get on with each other, you explore the waters. But you know what the problem is with bodybuilders? They do too much too quickly.
Yeah.
I see people that didn't know each other 6 weeks ago, and they go in, "Oh, the love of my life. Oh my god, happy Valentine's."
But
I'm
like,
buying like £300 things,
making
like,
everyone
mate.
know about it.
It's like, bruv, like, you literally, you
Focus on you two,
you just
innit?
need to build your relationship and not worry about what social media thinks. Because when push comes to shove, right, the reality is people will not care if you drop off the face of the earth.
No, they won't.
Because they won't even realise, bro. You're just a number. You're just an
Literally.
interaction. You're just a piece of engagement, bro.
Yeah.
So,
They
like,
get on with you now. In 4 months' time, they'll
like, if you
resonate
stop,
with
like,
someone
this
else.
is the thing about prep. Yeah. If you stop prepping, right, you get forgotten about so quickly. Treat that as the same situation. If you fall off the face of the earth and send to Instagram,
Be it body power. I don't. You won't. You'll remember shit. You won't remember it. But the engagement that I was getting when I was competing. Yeah. The engagement I was getting when I was competing to 4 months later, it literally disappears. It vanishes. No one cares.
and that's when if you put too much reliance on that
On
gratification.
So imagine if that's what I did bodybuilding for, and then 4 months later I've just finished competing, and all that attention is now gone.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have carried on, would I?
No. And that's the thing. You got to focus on the enjoyment of the process.
You literally.
Like, it's the process, it's the journey, and not the destination. The man that walks 1,000 miles will always enjoy the journey far more than the person just focused on the
It was
destination.
like a question the other day was, you're not bothered about placing? I was like, no, I'm not. Why? Look
Because
at what I looked like last time.
Because placings are
And
a
then look
fiction
at
of imagination.
Yeah, it's something that's
literally
been
plucked-
decided by four people.
You couldn't get something more plucked out of the fucking air if you tried. Because someone will roll out of bed, that fucking fat judge who hasn't fucking lifted a weight in his life, right? Will come along and go, yeah, I like that. That's how fucking retarded it is. Like, if you explain someone to a regular person, you're like, why?
Oh yeah, it's weird.
You're like,
bro.
you're fucking stupid.
Weird.
It's
man.
like, I am, but I love it.
And, like, you go back to like live fucking rock climbing
Yeah.
and placing. Yeah, we're just sitting on stage posing.
I've dropped to that level now, so.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
They all come over,
You
bro.
got to find,
They
you
all
got,
come
you
over.
got to find happiness within the madness, mate. Like, you've literally got to find your own happiness in this dark, murky, complicated industry. So that's the main thing that I would say. You just
And
want to make sure.
I'd say that don't force it.
I never force it. Your time will come. I said this
More
to you
like
off camera.
meeting people as well.
Yeah,
Don't
your
force
time will
it
come.
because like I didn't go out of my way to meet you.
No.
Like, it was just there, and then I never like forced any conversations. It just happened. Whereas I met people that day that I don't even speak to or follow anymore. Like it's that kind. It might feel lonely at times, but just resonate with the people that you're similar to.
I think you'll always attract and gravitate to the right people. It just needs to come from a place of stability and patience, because if you try and
within
force
yourself,
if you try and force anything in life, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Like if you try and force your business, you're gonna fail. If you try and force your bodybuilding, you're gonna fail. If you try and force relationships, you're gonna fail. If you try and put too much pressure on certain situations, you're going to react and interact in those situations like negatively.
Yeah.
If you're going into a certain situation with already a predetermined mindset, you're not giving that situation a chance. You're not giving that person a chance.
Yeah.
So it needs to be just a marriage of convenience. If you meet someone and you happen to get on with each other, bro, I've met so many people. Genuinely, I've met so many people that I thought I would get on with.
Yeah, and it's just not.
And then it just hasn't materialised.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem.
No, it's
you
fine.
go your way, I'll go my way.
Everyone has their
You know
own
what?
life, innit? You can't hold.
If you live your way like that, like mate, I'll be honest with you. Like it happened when I moved to Sheffield. Like I had a lot of people that I was gonna meet, I was gonna interact with, I was gonna get sessions in, and then I spent a bit of time with them. And I was like, you know what? All
Not for me, yeah.
all of you are just not for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's fine. I think it's
That's
the people
okay.
that are like they get arsy about the fact that you don't want to be my mate.
That's what I'm saying. Like if someone,
Come on, man.
this is what I'm saying with certain people, and I think it happens a lot in bodybuilding, is that if you're not someone's best friend, you're then automatically their enemy.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we have this middle ground?
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to be best friends licking each other's arsehole 50 times a day to,
Do you know?
I hate you, you're a fucking cunt.
Do you know
don't go
Hannah
near me?
Mitchell?
Huh?
Do you know Hannah Mitchell?
Who's that?
No, you will know her because she's from.
Who's her Instagram? What's her Instagram tag?
Posing by Hannah.
No, what's her actual? The other one.
Health with Hannah.
Yeah, health with Hannah.
Oh,
You do know it,
Yeah, okay. So let me go a little sidetrack. So Health with Hannah, presuming the brunette,
Yeah.
the one that poses,
Yeah.
the one that was coached by Cuba.
Yeah.
So
Still is, yeah.
she I've actually been on a double date with her. I've met a few times with my ex. So me and Hannah go way back.
Oh right.
We don't talk on a
I
day
thought you would
now.
know her because she's from the same area.
Yeah, so Sean Murphy used to be my client.
Yeah.
And he used to be with her.
Oh right.
And they were together for quite a long time. And I was coaching Sean for a long time at the beginning of my career, coaching. And she's a very unique character. She's very bubbly. I can imagine that she's Marmite to a lot of people.
Yeah.
She's very energetic. She's very out there. She's very like up and at it and energetic and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, like I can imagine like meeting her for the first time. She was probably one of the people that you go, yeah, do you know what? You actually bring the situation you bring on Instagram.
Yeah, literally, it's the same.
Like,
Same
that's very. The reason why I remember her is because she's one of those very rare, like, particular scenarios where I've met someone and gone, do you know what? Yeah, you're actually sound. You're actually the person that you are on Instagram.
Well,
like,
she said it the other day on her story
It's
about.
true though.
Someone asked what you like about bodybuilding and what you don't like about it. One of the things was how fake people are.
It's ridiculous.
Like one
'cause you know
person
what?
could say one thing
It's
about
so
a person,
bad
but
because
then
you can't
lick
tell
their ass to the face.
The hard thing is you can't even tell these days. It's
No.
so bad. Like you don't know who's lying and who's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And it becomes to a point where, like, mate, last year, let me tell you this now. Last year, I had someone like, I'm not going to name names, right? But he came round. We knew each other for a lot. Met in person quite a few times. He came over to my house, my apartment last year. Like, I said to him, I was like, right, I'm in prep. I'd appreciate if you didn't do X, Y, Z, right? And like, the whole fucking thing was just him doing certain things that I didn't agree with, and like he lied to me about certain things. And this is when we were like living in my apartment for like 3 days. He came over for like 3 days, and I went away from that situation, and I unfollowed him, and I was like, do you know what? You're not the person that I thought you were.
Yeah.
And like, it was to the point where I was like, do you know what? I'm not even gonna make a thing about this. I didn't make a thing about
Is
it.
it the person you were working with?
No. So
No.
we
Oh, right.
weren't. I mean, like, I'll tell you off camera, but like, I don't want to name names.
No,
because
yeah, I
it's
get
not
it,
that
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
I'm just using it as an example. Like,
Yeah.
I knew him a long time through Instagram. We'd had so many conversations, so many positive interactions. But then he came to me in real life,
And it was committed.
and it was just so weird.
Yeah,
like, he just wasn't the person that he was for such a long time over Instagram. it was one of those things where I just was like, do you know what? I spent 3 days with you. I don't really want to spend any more time with you, so I'm going to unfollow you and I'm not going to speak to you again. And like we haven't spoke since then. Like the last time we spoke was when he said, "See you later, mate. I'm back off down south," and that was the last interaction we had. And that's fine. I think that's fine.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I didn't go to him like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did this." Da 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 da. I was just like, "Cool,
that's it.
Calm." It didn't work out. Fine. It is what it is.
But some people would have messaged.
He's a bit younger than me, so if you was to ask him about me, he probably would be a little bit less diplomatic.
Yeah.
Because younger people are.
You find that.
The arrogance of youth. But because I was like that, bro. I was like that when I was younger. Like as I've mellowed, you know, as I've aged, I've mellowed. So that's what I don't. That's what I don't get about people who are 35 and fucking angry to the gills.
This is what I don't get about.
Bro, your age chills you out, man.
Bodybuilders,
like, you get chilled out, bro.
The only people that don't like new people entering this industry are the old school bodybuilders.
I don't get those ones.
And it's only the people that were moaning about why is bodybuilding not as big as it should be. Well, because you don't let anyone in. Like, you don't want newbies in. You don't want new people starting. Like, it's frowned upon by the old school bodybuilders.
Yeah, and that's the problem, mate. You've got so many people trying to do it their way, but the problem is they're trying to also force people to do it their way.
Their way, yeah. Whereas if you
it's
just
calm down, we're all
that's
doing
why
the
I
same
appreciate
thing.
your YouTube series from you prepping. It's not as serious as
the whole
makes
thing.
out.
The whole circle.
It's not
is
as
this.
deep.
The whole. Let me just encapsulate the industry in a one sentence takeaway. Right. We are all trying to do the same thing. We are, and I mean this wholeheartedly. We are literally all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to be better individuals. Within coaching, we're all trying to become better coaches. We're all trying to make more money. We're all trying to improve. We're all just trying to be better than we were yesterday, or better than we were the week before, or better than we were the month before. Right? How we do it and how we achieve it shouldn't actually be factored into the equation.
No.
All we're trying to do is pick a certain philosophy, pick a certain methodology, utilize that to improve ourselves for a certain outcome. Why does there have to be such like negativity towards you're doing it this way, you're training that way, you're dieting this way, you're cardioing this way, you're doing this, you're doing that. That's wrong, that's right. Just chill out.
Yeah.
If you're looking back at your situation, you've made progress, that's all you can ever do. Don't think about, oh, can I have made more progress with someone else's approach? It doesn't fucking matter because you've made progress with that particular coach. And this is what I don't really understand about coach hopping. You know, the onus is on you to get the shit done.
Literally, yeah.
No coach has a magic wand and no coach has a magic bullet. So when you're coach hopping, what are you searching for? Because the answers that you're searching for aren't coming, because at the end of the day, you just have to continue with the process. Your rate of progression will most likely be the same rate of progression with method 1 versus method 50.
Yeah.
You know?
And especially
yes, it can be tweaked slightly, but again, it's about finding a method that works for you. That's the method that's going to bring the most progress. Regardless of whether it's method 1, 2, 5, 10, 25, 85, 89, right? It's the method that works for you. That's the method that you should particularly practice consistently.
Literally, yeah.
And once you find it, that's why I've been with Joe for 3 years. Because I found it with Joe after being coached by about 4 or 5 different people, speaking to loads of different people.
I was with Amelia for 3 years. But then Amelia, do you follow her still?
No.
No, so she went from bodybuilding to like mums and stuff. So it's like, it was totally against her clientele to be coaching me.
But you know what? That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine because she's reevaluated her circumstances. Gone. Do you know what?
This is
who I don't really fancy being a coach in that sector anymore. Let me go towards mums.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
so
fine.
like we both came to the decision like you need to find someone else that you're going to progress with more. And bro, the amount of coaches that I went to before Christian.
Really?
There was a year where I coached myself.
Wow. Because I'll be honest with you, I always thought you coached yourself before Christian.
I did. For a year. But I had Amelia 3 years before that. Yeah. So I started with Amelia, then went to myself, and then went to Christian after that. But only because the amount of people that I went to, and I explained about my tumour, having the operation, don't want to get started yet, this is when I want to start, yada yada. 10 of them go on a diet now, without seeing what I look like, without questioning anything else about my illnesses and stuff. We just go on a diet, we just put you on a diet. Some of them are very big names.
Yeah. I think this is a really important subject to touch on.
One of them is a very big coaching company. At the start, it was coming in, and I messaged saying, I'll still pay, but I don't want to start on this day, I want to start on a different day. And I got ghosted, unfollowed, blocked.
Wow.
Even though I still offered the money.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to start on that date when all of their clients were starting. Do you know when it comes down to a money thing then, and it's just like,
What's that all about?
bro, I have no idea. It's
That's
just
very strange.
growing social media. I'll talk about it after Carity, but it's like,
But no, like, I'll be honest with you. In terms of the whole that situation, like, a lot of what you need to expect as a person in this industry is that we are incredibly self-serving individuals.
yeah,
The reason why we put so much time into bodybuilding is because we are selfish,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So don't for 1 second think that you're going to join a new coach and they're not going to do what's best for them.
A million times.
Like,
yeah.
I understand, and to be honest with you, like, for me, I don't take that approach. However, I am incredibly aware that 95% of this industry are full of coaches that want to do what's best for them, for their business,
Especially the
and
more established
for
ones.
their results,
Yeah.
right? Which is fine. Do you know what? That's fine. If you want to get a client on board and you want to take them straight into a dieting phase and you want to get a 12-week transformation out of this because it's going to promote your business, fine. That's your gift. You have that ability. But you'd be surprised at how naive people are to the fact that these coaches are very good at packaging up that dieting is what's best for you right now when it's not.
It's not. No.
Right? But they're doing that to convince you that it's the best option for you when it's the best option for them.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the problem. And
Yeah.
you got to understand how often that happens. And I said this to Estee, like, you got to stop thinking that a coach has to take responsibility for absolutely everything in your life. And that even comes down to your path and progression. You know, they're making an incredibly informed decision, but at the same time, there's going to be a sneaky bit of self-servicing there.
Yeah, that
They're still doing something that's going to benefit
Regardless
them,
of the-
either
what
it's,
the
whether it's
services,
short term, whether it's short term, medium term, or long term. They are putting you on a progression plan that is going to ultimately serve them as a coach and serve their business eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't be naive to the fact that they're always trying to do what's best for you. They're always trying to care for you 100%, because a lot of people out there don't. And like, at the end of the day, you can't be mad at them because you're paying them. Like, the fact is that people are like that, and unfortunately, it's your job and your due diligence to stay away from them people.
You've got
Like,
to do your research.
You have to do your research, because I know for a fact there are people that have had coaches that step away from being coached by them and go, that was a terrible experience.
and they'll never get a coach again.
Yeah, and they'll never get a coach again.
And
And then they're mentally scarred. They've got PTSD, and then now they're put off coaching because one self-serving coach has set the standard for them, and that's the battle that we're serving.
Yeah.
That's the battle that we're fighting. And like, if you are listening to this right now and you're not currently happy with your current coach, get in touch.
Yes,
No, I'm being serious.
to people.
But on seriously, like, speak to people around you, get an informed decision, go to people that you trust, and go, right, is this something that I should be experiencing? Are these doubts relevant? Are these doubts actually useful? You know,
Yeah.
it's one thing having doubts, but it's another thing having doubts that are unreasonable. You know, like, if you're having unreasonable thoughts and you speak to someone and go, right, why are you thinking about that?
Yeah, why are you
Snap
even?
it out.
Why,
If you go to someone and your doubts are relatable and they are really firm on the subject, and your experiences like
one
you
of
should be
the one of
experiencing.
the main things is if your check-in is 4 days from when you sent it to getting your response,
That's one of them, that is.
that's not normal, right? That's where you change. Yeah.
There are certain red flags. Like, I would say check-in times.
If you
I would
turn
also
around and
say-
you go, I messaged him and he took 10 minutes to reply to my message, that's a bit extreme. You shouldn't be feeling like that. Like,
Yeah.
they're allowed
Like,
10 minutes to
It's
reply.
like, oh
Do you
my
know what I
god, only 10
Yeah.
minutes. Like, calm the fuck
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
Like, check-in times and like responses that take like 2-3 days. Those are particular things that, at the end of the day, you're paying for something, and there should be, like, I'm not too caught up on industry standards, and
No.
I don't think it's a bit. I think it's all a bit make believe, but there should be a baseline of response time for every coach, and
Yeah.
I believe personally, this is my opinion, not anybody else's, that if you are doing a check-in after 48 hours, you shouldn't be a coach.
No.
Like, 48 hours is the absolute
worst case
maximum.
scenario.
Absolute
Worst
maximum.
case,
If someone's checked in on time, they filled out their form on time, etc., they've followed your guidelines and your recommendations as a client and what you expect from them, and you're taking longer than 48 hours to get back to them, you are not fit to be a coach.
No.
You are not fit for purpose, because
when it's your sole job.
well,
that's
when
what
it's your
you
job and that's what
solely
you do, and you're still taking the piss and you're still taking that much time, you shouldn't have that client on board. Because if you're not giving that service to every single person, then why are you doing it in the first place? Like, you should be given a service that is consistent throughout. So if you're taking 4 days for one person but 24 hours for another person because they've got a certain amount of followers, because they've got a certain level of physique, get in the fucking bin.
Yeah,
Like, what are you doing? We're all human beings at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck about bodybuilders. We're all human beings, bro. We all deserve to be treated the exact same way.
Literally.
Especially if you're paying money out of your back pocket, out of your hard-earned cash, to give to someone, for them to go, all right, you're going to get a 4-day reply, you're going to get a 24-hour reply.
Like, approaching a
Bro,
recession.
like, I mean, I don't give a fuck who this offends, but like, if you're consistently offering a bad service, then fair enough. But if you're doing 6-hour replies for somebody else, and then 4-day replies for somebody else, what are you doing? Like, either don't coach that way, or just get rid of that fucking client. Just get rid of that client. Say, listen, you're not right for me. I'm going to give you to someone who can spend more time with you. Like, that's okay, but don't keep them on board because they're paying you. Like, for me as a coach, I have a very strict 3-strike policy. If somebody's late or somebody doesn't check in for 3 strikes, I just cancel their direct debit. Because I can't be asked.
Yeah, you can't.
Like, I'm here to help you, and I have worked a long time to put certain standards in place for my coaching.
And if you don't want to
I'll be the first to hold my hands up. I have slipped at certain points, right? And I know that I've been that person at certain points to get to the point where I know 40 hours is unacceptable, right? I'm not going to pretend that I'm not those people, but I did it when I wasn't charging £250 a month.
Yeah, literally.
I did it when I was charging £80 a month.
Yeah.
I'm not charging obscene amounts of money for my mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, I made those mistakes when I was in my infancy,
when you was learning,
when I wasn't charging as much. Now I'm charging triple figures a month. I'm not making those mistakes because I shouldn't be making those mistakes.
No, you can't. Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like, I think these people who are charging an arm and a leg and are still having the lack of care for certain clients, like, just get rid of them, or just don't bother fucking doing that. Just don't have that behaviour pattern. Like, you can't treat someone one way because they have a certain level of physique, and you can't treat someone another way because they have certain goals.
No, because would you like that if someone did that to you? You fucking wouldn't, would you?
Treat people how you would like to be treated.
Look at every situation. Would you appreciate that?
If you had a coach, right, and you were getting 4-day replies, you wouldn't appreciate that. So how do you think your client feels, or your client feels, if you're getting a 4-day response? They're not going to feel too great about that. How? They're not going to feel great. They're going to feel unappreciated. They're going to feel unwanted, right? And they're going to feel just discarded and put to the side, right? So why would you possibly want to make a human being feel like that? Why would you possibly want to make someone feel that way about you?
Oh, I didn't mean to. No.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. It won't happen next week. It shouldn't happen once, bro.
Especially on a prep.
You shouldn't happen once, brother. What are you doing? Like, what's going on? See what I mean? So, like, at the end of the day, that is a little subject and tangent.
The whole thing, video.
We had to just cover that because, look, I've made mistakes, but I also have made mistakes charging a certain amount, even being a coach that does
You
it
said
for free.
it before. If you make a mistake, just own it. Like,
yeah,
you're
man.
human.
Like, look,
you're not a computer.
I will be the first one to say, bro. Like, there are certain times where I haven't been the perfect coach because I've had to prioritize my personal progression. But this is the thing that you've got to really say to your clients and say, right, this is a moment in time where I'm not going to be 100% of my capacity, but just communicate. Communication is key. Yeah. Humans appreciate communication. Yeah. And what are your clients?
Honestly,
they're humans. You're not fucking coaching dogs.
The second you lie, no matter how much people will say it doesn't, you instantly lose respect.
Here's a quote for you. 100 truths build trust, 1 lie can break it.
Literally straight away.
And that's the problem with coaching. Yeah. You can have 100 great check-ins, 1 bad check-in, you've got a consistent bad review from that person.
Yeah. Consistent.
And that's something that you have to have in the back of your mind as your coach. You have to be consistently providing a level of service that consistently gives good feedback from that individual.
Yeah.
Right? And you can have 150 check-ins, right? And they can all be perfect. But that 1 bad check-in is that one thing that they will focus on and they will give back the review on.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, they were great, but da-da-da.
Always, that but.
Always. And you don't want to give that but. You don't want to give that opportunity.
No,
and like, I know that sometimes I've given that person that but. And like, that is where you go, analyse, digest, implement, go.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a lovely segue to end the,
the
podcast. Lovely little rant, you know? That's probably the most emotional or most driven I've been, because it's passion for me, bro.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, it comes from a place of soul.
Like I said it before. Some of my most successful clients have been passed to me from other coaches or PTs who haven't had the time to put into that.
Mate,
they're the most awkward client, but they're not. Like,
one man's trash is another man's treasure, my friend.
Yeah.
And it's the
So
same.
if
One
you've had a
client,
shit experience with a coach,
one client
someone
can be
will be
really
able
shit
to-
with a certain approach, and one client can be absolutely amazing and
yeah.
transform someone's business with another approach.
Yeah.
So you always have to keep that in mind, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but just apply certain principles.
That's
do
what
your,
it is.
do
Isn't
your
it?
best.
Principle.
Yeah, have your core
Have
principles.
principles. Have
Do
boundaries.
your best. Have principles. Have boundaries. Have guidelines, and just do your best. You know, that's all you can ever do as a coach, as a business owner, as a person, as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as a human being. That's all you can do. So yeah, that's been episode 5 of the Physique podcast with my boy Anthony. Luke. I just had your Instagram bio in your thing. So that's this is going to be available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. So search up on the Spotify, the Physique podcast, episode 5, and obviously if you want to follow us on Instagram and YouTube, we'll put the various links. But that is the end of today's episode.
Yeah.